Welcome back, Otafest podcast listeners. We have yet another wonderful episode for you today. I am Jay. I haven't been around for a little bit.
Who are you?
And I am joined by
How did you get here?
the Angelo.
Who is this man?
And the Nancy.
I'm not here. What?
What?
Oh, hi, Nancy. You're normal.
We're here.
Who's this other person? There's never been three people on this
I've
podcast
invaded.
before.
It's the podcast is now a Souls-like, and I've invaded.
The
Oh,
podcast
my God.
is actually just an identity crisis.
That's why your name is Red.
Yeah. Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's go through the announcements. Do you need a break, a bite to eat? Come and enjoy the Maid and Butler Cafe and have a kawaii time. Tickets are now available only online. No tickets are available for purchase day of. Get tickets at otafest.com/cafe.
Also, Otafest is looking for 2 N3 JLPT certified or better Japanese-speaking volunteers for Otafest 2024. So please see the form on our Facebook page and hurry because applications close on April 15th.
Oh, my. We've got some cool stuff happening. The Maid Cafe is always so nice.
I'm excited to see what number they do this year. That's always like my I'm super jazzed to see what it is this year thing.
They do the good.
They do.
I am very proud of them every year for how much work they put into the dances and the food prep and just the general ambient vibe. It is always
A good time.
a good time. It's always sold out for great reasons.
Oh, yeah.
I believe a portion of what they do also goes to our charity. It is literally just one of the best ways you can support both Otafest and our charity and enjoy yourselves and have cute snacks and be waited on. Like, what else do you need?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. That seems like what anime conventions are all about.
I just as like in the ad copy, it's a kawaii time.
Kawaii.
Exactly.
I
Moe
think,
moe kayun.
so from a practicality standpoint, I actually super love that having a ticket for Maid and Butler Cafe is an enforced break. And we all know that person or persons at conventions who just need to be told to take a break.
The people where you have to drag them, like pull their ear and be like, come with me to the ramen stand, or else.
They are that friend who goes, yeah, I'm totally fine. Let's go do this other thing. And it's like, breathe, deep breath. And they go, oh yeah, no, I'm actually super tired. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes. So please do your friend that wonderful service of creating a fun, kawaii enforced break.
Exactly.
Can I give you a weird aside?
Oh, sure.
That has very little to do with this, but at the same time, so much.
Okay.
I can't get the phrase kawaii time out of my mind for a second here.
Oh boy.
The other day I realized, so I don't listen to a lot of like anime openings and endings and stuff. Very few have even really stuck in my head. And I'm also not one of those people who can very purely parrot things. So I have like a very low basic understanding of Japanese, and I don't. Yeah, like if there are like 2 songs, I feel like I can come up for the lyrics for without having to read anything on a screen, like at karaoke or whatever. Like one of them is probably Cruel Angel's Thesis.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Good pick.
That one's like, I would say that's actually a fairly easier song too, because it's a little bit more slow paced. It's a slightly slower tempo.
It is technically a ballad.
Yeah. But the other one, unexpectedly, is Lucky Star's opening.
Wow, really?
Oh.
Damn.
That's the kawaii time.
I buy sausage.
Because for some reason, that song is actually in my head sometimes, and I don't know why. I don't have it. I literally don't have it on like my Spotify playlist or like I don't listen to it, but it has actually wormed and drilled itself into my brain. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. But I can parrot that song.
Now we
I'm
know.
not doing it here.
Now
By the
we
way,
know that
you can't make me.
one day we could just start playing it anywhere near you, and you could suddenly just bust out right in tune with it.
I don't know
wouldn't
why,
do
but
that.
when
it would just let it play in my head.
when you said something about kawaii time and music,
Yeah.
for some reason the Adventure Time theme just started playing in my head, the little ukulele.
Yeah,
And I was
Adventure
like, kawaii time, come grab your friends, we'll go to very moe lands with moe maids and handsome butlers. Come and eat some food, it's kawaii time.
I remember
Amazing!
Adventure Time. It used to be a very good. It still is a good time, I guess.
Oh,
Although
amazing.
when, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So,
Anyways.
Jay, I heard that you actually beat a video game.
For once.
yeah, I know that makes it sound like
You must
I'm
be a pro
incapable of
gamer.
beating games.
Yes, yes, indeed.
I feel like definitely as an adult, I lose interest in games after a while.
I know that feeling.
And that it's not a game, like, it's not that games become too difficult or anything else. It's just at some point after maybe like the 25-hour mark, I probably start losing interest, mainly because like either the mechanic is
Stale?
stale, yeah, or I just literally put it down and I kind of forget about it for a while.
Yeah.
Very fair.
Yeah, that's
and
been
then I have
me.
to, and then
That is
yeah,
me.
and then the advent of having to come back to it is daunting in its own way because you're like,
What was I
what the hell
doing?
was
How
I
does this game work
doing?
anymore?
You know what every game needs now?
They
And
need-
the game that I beat, by the way, yeah,
They need a
it needs a
mode.
diary.
They need a mode
It
that
needs a
tells you
diary.
this is where you were. By the way,
Yeah.
here's a refresher on how the game works.
Yeah, they need a tutorial in the menu
Yeah.
to
Well,
be like,
no.
okay,
Some
I haven't
games
played
do-
this JRPG in 2 years.
Yes.
Some
Where
games
am I
do
and what
have
am
a
I doing?
diary.
Yes.
How do
Some
I play
games
this?
do have a diary mode where they write down. Like I can't remember what game I'm thinking of actually.
I
but
remember Tales
Do you
of
remember
Symphonia
some-
having one, and this
some
was like
JRPGs
so long ago, and I wondered why does it have
Some-
this? Now I
some
know.
like farming type games I remember have as well. Like they're like, oh, you spoke to whoever on the day of whatever, and you picked up some turnips. It's like, okay, cool.
Does Stardew Valley
Anyway.
have that?
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
Stardew doesn't. I don't know how hard it would be to write.
I feel
Like-
like,
like-
it's something that needs to trigger if you've been away for long enough. Like the game says, "Oh, hey, I notice it's been over 6 months since the last time you booted this game. This is where you were." Like I feel like
Yeah.
games could actually benefit from that because the more adult life you get into, just the more often your life just kind of gets interrupted by stuff. Like sometimes
Now that
I
I
burn
think
out of a
about it.
game and I just don't want to play it for a while, and then I come back and I'm like, what was I doing again? But
I
sometimes
think
it's
Pokemon
legitimately
Leaf Red had that. No, Fire Red and Leaf Green
eh?
had something
Oh, I
similar
think
to
you're
that.
right.
Where when you load it up after a save,
Yes.
it would show you like 3 little actions that you've done. It's like, oh, you went to the Pokemon Center. Oh, you fought a battle here. And you caught this Pokemon. It was actually pretty neat because they understood. They were like, we will show you a
I-
couple events that just happened to jog your memory on what you were doing.
Yeah, but
I mean, I will say that Pokemon is a linear enough game that I wouldn't worry about it too much. But I'd still appreciate it anyways. And I
Yeah.
do remember the function you're talking about.
God, but Fire Red and Leaf Green still seem new to me. And I have to remember that even those are like 15 years old now.
True.
But like, what if I put down like a more complicated RPG for like 4 months and then came back to it and was like, I don't remember what I was doing, who I am, or how this game works.
That is why I have never beaten Tales of Zestiria
Oh man.
or Tales of Berseria. I've
tried
gotten into
starting
like
Zestiria.
20, 30 hours in, and I drop it for some reason. Like, usually it's
And
because,
then you
I
feel
have
like
to do
you have to
something.
restart it.
Yeah, and then I have to restart it from scratch because I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
understand what's happening anymore.
I don't even understand. I didn't understand how Tales of Berseria actually worked while I was playing it. I did not understand its combat system. And if I went back to it, I definitely wouldn't know.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
So anyways, what
for
game did you beat?
yeah, I was gonna say, just for the sake of qualifying that, I beat Monster Sanctuary, which is this little. It's not really like a Pokemon game in any way. It's this kind of cool tactical 3v3 sort of JRPG that does involve little monsters and creatures, but
Oh, the art style is neat.
is very fun. Monster Sanctuary is like much more tactical than Pokemon because you have these three. Like I said, the all battles are 3v3,
Okay.
and there's like a weakness system. There's some sets of attacks, but what's really cool is that every I could just call it every Pokemon.
Every monster.
Every monster has like a not overly complicated, but like a fairly good little skill tree that each one has, and you can like respec the skill tree.
Okay.
And that also has an equipment system for each monster.
Oh,
So
interesting.
you can alter the stats and you can alter the skills of each monster. And some monsters can evolve, but it's not key to the game necessarily.
So it's neat because it's kind of there because it's expected to be there. And because, let's be real, just Monster Evolution is fun.
Mm-hmm.
But
There's probably
it's
about
not
like
the point of the game.
yeah. If I had to guess, I think there's probably about like 80 monsters. Nothing crazy. Super fun though. I would recommend it. It's I think it's either made by or published by Team 17, which is like the Worms people.
Oh, wow.
Team 17 has gotten their hands onto a lot of different IPs, either in a production role or a development role. But I think they're doing really well for themselves. They've carved themselves like a really cool mid-level niche where they're just having fun putting out games. I don't think they're necessarily like they're not looking to make the super hits, but they know that their games are fun.
As long as they've stopped their
appreciate
NFT BS.
I haven't heard anything about that, so
Back when NFTs were kind of exploding, they put out some Worms NFTs. To my understanding, I barely remember it because I was just like, oh wow, another shameless cash grab by a 30-year-old IP. Who would have thought?
That would have disappointed
I
me
mean-
just to witness.
But
Yeah,
if they're
I
just
get
making
it.
cute, good, great games that are just fun, hell yeah, more power to them.
All right.
yeah. Going back to that whole like you were talking about, like how like you haven't beat a Tales game or whatever, like that's what Witcher 3 is to me. I love playing it,
Me too.
but I cannot. I don't know if I'll ever be able to beat that game because
Really?
I just can't put in the fucking 300
Well, it's like-
hours that I feel like I want to beat that
A
game.
lot of the
40
300
hours.
hours is
As an
optional,
example.
though.
40 hours
But I
is...
like optional. I like side quests. I like side story.
So do I.
I just can't.
But if you're playing Witcher 3 for the sake of finishing it, then play it to finish it and not to just enjoy the side quests. But if
Yeah.
But
if
then
you're
I'm
playing
not
Witcher
enjoying
3
it
for
in
the
the way that
experience
I
of the
like.
game, then play it for the experience with the caveat that you may not finish it.
I just can't justify spending that much time doing one thing anymore. It's hard.
No, you're right.
When I'm playing like a game, if I realize it's 40 hours, this game is 40 hours, and I think that is a solid work week.
Yes.
That is 8 hours a day every day for 5 days in a row.
Yes.
I want to do other things now.
Well, You're talking to someone who has 3 concurrent careers, so let's get into that a little bit.
Oh my.
You have like maybe max 3 hours of actual completely free enjoyment time in the evenings if you work an 8-hour workday. So assuming
Yeah.
that your 8 hours are, a morning and an afternoon and maybe a little bit of your evening, after you've eaten and done everything that's around your eating of dinner, you have like 3-ish just pure hours to do something that you want to do. Whether that is chores, whether that is self-care, or, something where you're just sitting and consuming media.
Yeah.
That's actually not as much time as I used to think it was, especially because recently the 3 of us have been really scrambling to try and find like time to just get together and even do podcasts like that. That's
we need
already
an
showing.
hour and a half a week.
I know.
And we can't find it.
I know. And it's wild. And like in the last, I think 3, 4, 5 years, I've really come around to the priority, which is I should make time to actually spend with people.
Yeah. Well, that is something that that COVID put into me. It's like, you know what? Hanging out with people's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And so I've just been, anytime someone is like, want to hang out, I'm like, yes, let's make time for it. What do we want to do? I'll be there.
And then you hit the indecision wall around what do you want to do? Because adults.
Sometimes you just have to push through it.
Yeah.
You just have to be like, okay, let's get food.
Yeah.
It's dinner time. I'm hungry. Let's go get food.
That one person needs to make an executive decision.
Exactly.
We are going to get food, and then we are going to play board games. Done.
Yeah. Yeah, having something to do after food is always pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Ah.
I'm proud of you, Jay. You beat a game.
I beat a game.
Did you have that, like, that disappointment, that letdown that you're like, you're done, that's it, there's no more of this? Or were you, like, actually super pumped that you got to the end and now you feel really proud of it?
Pretty happy about it. I don't often 100% achievements. I didn't 100% achievements here either. I looked at it after I was done. There was about 41 achievements, and there's like, I completed like 35 or 36 of them.
That's pretty good.
Just through playing the game.
I-
Which is the way I like to do it. I don't want to grind that much, you know?
No.
I actively hate achievement systems.
I don't mind them
Like-
if they're mostly just through playing. So like
Exactly.
in this particular case, so there's like these champion battles, they call them. I beat every champion and 5-starred every battle. There's like this whole battle efficiency system that they give you as a rating after every battle.
Oh,
for the
Okay.
that's
most part.
exhausting.
And no, it's not. It's not that bad.
Okay. I will trust
but
you.
you do want to strategize. You do want to strategize your team and stuff like that. I 100% of the map. Like I explored every area that I could. I beat all the little extra bonus areas. So yeah, I mean, I mostly feel like I accomplished and I didn't leave anything behind, and I'm happy to beat that game. There is a new game plus where you can do a few cool things. There's like a couple of different modes and difficulty levels and things like that and challenges, but I probably won't go back into it because look, I already beat your game once.
Yeah. That's how it works.
That's already monumental for me at this time in my life.
The last time I went
yeah.
achievement hunting in any game, this is going back real far now,
Oh.
was Team Fortress 2.
Whoa.
Because for the first 3 weapon updates, I think it was the medic update, the heavy weapons guy update, and I want to say the pyro update, but I'm not sure. The unlockable weapons were all locked behind getting achievements. There was 30 achievements per class that you had to get. And some of them were really just simple, like, oh, get 50 kills or get 100,000 healing or something crazy like that. But there were actively absurd achievements that were so unlikely. And you had to get all of them to get, like, the Uber Saw. These weapons that were just straight up better versions of the normal stuff. And so it got to a point where people were just, like, cheesing the game. You and, like, 4 friends would go load a server and be like, okay, guys, let's orchestrate and choreograph this absurd situation so that we can get an achievement so we can actually get the weapon. And we got to do this 5 times for all of us. It sucked.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
because I also put a lot of hours into Team Fortress, can you go to your Steam page and tell me how many achievements you have? Because I have 372.
Oh my fucking god. There's that
I
many
have
now?
70. I have 71% out of the 520.
I haven't played TF2 in so long that I
same.
definitely don't have that much.
April 27, 2019 was the last time.
I have
I can tell you.
333 out of 520.
Oh, that's not bad. The reason why I even played like in 2019 was, you know how like there's the hat system and you can buy and sell stuff.
Yes.
At that point, I figured I have no intention of ever playing Team Fortress 2 ever again. It's not to say that I couldn't squeeze out a little bit more fun out of it, but I just sold everything in my inventory. I sold everything that I could, and I was like, I'm not gonna come back. I just want, give me my Steam bucks so
All
that I
TF2
can.
items that can be sold from my account, I'm pretty sure I have sold. If there is anything sellable left on my account, it is just because I genuinely want it for some reason.
And even then, like,
I'm
if
never
you're not
playing
gonna go back
again.
to it, what difference is it?
I feel
I
like...
will say.
Oh,
Sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I'm
no.
thinking about achievements in general, and the
Yeah.
last time I actually felt compelled to try them. And like, okay, so anyone I talk to about games on a regular basis know that I'm already burnt out of Genshin. Like, I haven't booted the game up in months. I haven't logged in months. And the last time I remember actively trying to get achievements wasn't because I wanted the achievements. It's because I wanted the resin that came with it so that I could throw more wishes. Like that was the only reason I wanted achievements. And so we kind of already know that the achievement system is broken for Nancy specifically. Maybe for a lot of people, actually. I just don't know because I've never brought this up until now. But achievement systems don't really work for me because completionism has never really ever been built into my DNA the same way as for some people. Like, that 100% feels good. I 100% admit that. Oh, I punned there. Ugh, that felt awful. But it's not enough. It's not enough. If I have a lot of time and I don't know what to do with that time, okay, maybe I'll explore and I'll see what it takes to get more achievements. But I honestly, as an adult these days, I have so many better things to do with my time.
Yeah. I remember eons. This is actually going back to the 90s or early 2000s. I can't remember. I filled out the Pokédex exactly one time
Wow.
in Pokemon Red.
I have never completed the Pokedex.
With the one
as
exception, I
someone
never got
who is-
Mew. I never got Mew.
I probably, with all due respect to you, Angela, I probably played 3 times the amount of Pokemon as you have in terms of like straight hours. I've never bothered to complete the Pokedex. It's never been that's not enjoyable to me.
I thought it would
enjoyable to
feel
me.
better.
That's just collection. It's just collection, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't care about like
Yeah.
100 or 120 of the original 150 Pokemon. I don't give a damn. I like 30 of them.
I know.
I was just collecting them to make a number go up. And once I actually got the number up, I was like, wow, it's worthless. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm not going through every I'm not going through every game I have in my Steam library, but I can see Subnautica, there's only 17 achievements and I have 16 of them.
Oh, damn.
And then Monster Hunter World is probably the only game I can remember in recent memory, that being within like the last 5 years, that I actually tried for some achievements. Only because I found so Monster Hunter is already sort of a bit of a, it's not a grind fest, but it is a grindy game, and it's an accumulative game. So a lot of the achievements come along as they are. So there's 100 achievements in Monster Hunter World, and I've gotten 91 or something of them.
Okay.
But that was really fun. I super enjoyed Monster Hunter World. If it wasn't for the fact that there's no more content for it anymore, I would probably go back.
I'm still getting over the physical discomfort of having punned unintentionally, but
Achievement unlocked.
oh god, that really truly felt awful. Speaking of achievements that probably won't ever really complete, did anyone ever get into a phase where they needed to collect all consoles?
Never.
I, at one point, wanted to have every Game Boy.
I mean, that makes sense. Because at least
And,
it's a little bit more affordable than saying collecting all of the PlayStations or Xboxes.
I was close, just based on the regular buying of the Game Boys. Like, I had the Game Boy Pocket. Mm-hmm. I eventually upgraded to a Game Boy Color. I bought myself a Game Boy Advance. And then I had to buy a Game Boy Advance. I was compelled to buy a Game Boy Advance SP because the shoulder buttons on my original Game Boy Advance stopped working, right? But then they came out with the Game Boy Advance Micro, and I was like, well, why would I want that? It was certainly neat, but why would I want that? And I didn't have the original Game Boy either. So I was just like,
you've already missed another one. In your chronology, you've missed the Game Boy Light.
No, that's the Game Boy Pocket.
No, it's not.
Game Boy Light, what is that?
Exactly. I am, unfortunately.
Oh my god! Is that like an original
known.
Game Boy with a backlight?
I am well known.
Oh
and
boy.
well versed
98 to 2003?
in the history of Game Boys,
Oh,
because I
no.
also loved Game Boys.
Oh boy.
I never wanted to collect all of them. I just know all of them.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know about the Game Boy Light.
Yeah, no, I'd never heard of this.
It's the form factor of the Game Boy Pocket with a larger battery. And
You mean, so it took double A's instead of triple A's?
yeah.
All right. I mean, it would have
And
to
then
have
it
more
has a
battery
and it
power
has
just to
yep.
have the light.
And it has a backlight.
God damn.
It is.
And a lot of people will go, the Game Boy SP is the first Game Boy with a backlight. And I'm
Haha!
like, no.
That's wrong.
Child.
Incorrect.
They
The
came out
first
with a backlight
revision-
in 1998.
Fun
Okay,
fact.
but like it still
The
had
Game Boy Advance SP was front lit, not backlit.
it still had
Also
like
true.
an appeal. Like there's a reason for it and people probably wanted it for those exact reasons.
Yeah.
It's also incredibly hard to find a Game Boy Light.
Was
but-
it sold in North America?
Yeah, was it? I feel like it wasn't.
It's exclusive to Japan.
Oh, was
there you
exclusive
go.
to Japan. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That would have
But-
been why I never heard of it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was available in gold and silver.
Oh my, that's swanky.
That's very Legend
And
of
then there was
Zelda.
also a Pikachu model, just like the Game Boy Color had.
Oh,
But
the
in
Game
fairness,
Boy,
this was right
the Pokemon
before
Yellow
the
Game Boy Color. Hell yeah.
But
Hell
like,
yeah.
so Angelo, are there any actual reasons why the PlayStation 5 Pro might have a reason for people to want to get it?
I don't know. Like the PlayStation Pro was recently announced, and everybody looked at it and just collectively said, "Why?" We're getting really close to the end of this console generation. A lot of the consoles are going EOL, or it feels like things are ramping up for like a PlayStation 6 or an Xbox, whatever the hell. What do they do? What do they even call the Xboxes now? I'm so out of the loop.
The
But
I don't know.
the
The
X
Xbox
bones.
naming nomenclature is very poor.
It's wild. It's a little all over the place. But like the PlayStation 5 Pro, as far as I understood, it doesn't really have a whole lot of reasons for you to want it
yeah.
if you already have a PlayStation 5.
It's not like it's the Nintendo Switch hardware where games some games, not all, but some games, especially the AAA of what's releasing on Nintendo, run poorly. Nothing actually runs poorly, to my knowledge, on the PS5.
Exactly. And it's kind of like the PS4 Pro didn't have a lot of benefits, so it feels like it's just a higher tier of the hardware to try to get people who don't have a PlayStation 5 to buy the better PlayStation 5. And quite frankly, it's just why they got to do this when instead they should just make the PlayStation 5 itself a little bit cheaper, maybe. Or give us reasons to care about it. I still only know one person with a PlayStation 5. Alfred is the only person I know with this console.
I'm sure I know a few people, but it is in North America, to my knowledge. No, Rob probably has one because he's played, Final Fantasy 7 on it.
All right.
Oh, right. Right. The Final Fantasy 7
but anyways,
exclusives. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the specs, and I don't know the base specs for a PS5, but their general little leaked info docket that I have here says it renders 45% faster than PS5. It has the 2 to 3 times the ray tracing.
Okay.
It has a max speed of 33.5 teraflops. Great. They have similar to I don't remember what is it AMD's? Who's the other one?
Nvidia?
Nvidia and the other
Intel?
who's No, I think I am thinking AMD. Anyway, they have upscaling.
Oh, like
Oh.
DLSS.
Yes, exactly. But they call it PSSR.
All right.
And then, yeah, I don't know. It does see it seems weird because at this point, why not just? I mean, not obviously they have the PS6 or whatever in the works. Let's be honest. But what is the point of this hardware?
Yeah.
Who's the market for this hardware? Because if we go back to the idea of, hey,
Evidently, it's not us.
aside from the idea of having maybe a limited edition type of console, like they release a super special one for the next Final Fantasy 7 part, and then it comes with the PS5 Pro limited edition for it or something like that. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense because once you sell this one, once you push this one out the door, the PS5 is going to go down in price, which makes people maybe want to buy the PS5 more, and then they'll start buying some of your other games.
You know what
But
they used to do?
You've still invested into this hardware, which doesn't make sense.
Only Nintendo really does this anymore. Only Nintendo does this anymore. But PlayStation and Xbox, they used to do this. They would have limited edition bundles. Like where the console might be a different color or might have some goofy branding on it.
Yeah.
And it would look neat and interesting and cool. And I legitimately know people who own multiple Switches, who owned multiple 3DSs or Wiis or something, so that they could have the different branded versions of that console.
But they were really fun. They really, Nintendo's been doing that for years because we just talked about the Game Boy. We talked about the Pokemon Pikachu Yellow
And
Special
there
Yellow
was
Edition.
the Zelda and the Animal Crossing version of the Switch.
Yeah.
And I don't
It's a good
think
time.
PlayStation has done that really since at least the PS2. The PS3 had bundles. It had game bundles that came with the console, but none of the consoles, if I remember right, were particularly interesting.
I don't know about Xbox.
I think the Xbox
But
360 had the faceplates, didn't it?
I was just about to mention faceplates. I
Yeah.
think that's the reason why. Because when your faceplate is removable, I believe the PS5 also has a removable faceplate. What can you possibly do as a manufacturer to really, like, other than be like, well, it's official? It's like, well, yeah, but technically, people are out there selling their faceplates.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
suppose
you
so.
could buy the special edition and be like, here, I'll sell you the faceplate for another $100 because I don't. It means no difference to me, and I've just made profit.
True.
Still, though, you are right. I've noticed we don't have those kinds of releases anymore.
I want the goofy, cute stuff.
Was it
Give me
the
the
PS?
goofy, cute consoles.
Then you could buy yourself a Nintendo Switch.
Was it the PS3 or 4 that had like the really cool white and silver Destiny something limited edition? It actually looked.
I
really
think that
cool.
was actually the PS4. Now that I think about it, I think you're right.
It was one of those. I can't remember. My memory stops after
It
the
was
PS3.
like silver
so-
with blue lighting or something.
It was like
But
white and
yeah.
it had like silvery decals on it. It was really nice. But yeah, like you're right. We don't see those anymore. We don't see like those incentivized bundles to get into
Nintendo does
the
it the
console
best.
and a game.
Nintendo does it the best. And okay, so first of all, they don't do that anymore. Nintendo doesn't bundle a game with their special editions. I know it's kind of ridiculous.
Oh
but
yeah, that's right. I remember that with
Yeah.
wasn't it Animal Crossing where people were memeing on
Yeah.
it because it
But on
didn't
the
come
other
with the
hand,
game?
like, yeah, but I mean, people are still buying the Animal Crossing Switch because A, it was super hella cute, and B, at the end of the day, Nintendo really is more invested in having fun little aesthetic things that don't have a lot of meaning necessarily in terms of like the objective value, but like people enjoy having fun coded things.
Yeah, especially
They
when
know
it's
that.
like a box that plays video games.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to look like furniture. It can be fun.
I'm, like I hate to say it, because 90% of my gaming library and gaming interests are still mostly tied to my PC. I'm looking forward to the Switch 2. Like I'm looking forward to it because I think there's going to be some really fun games. I don't, we've had this discussion like a million times. Like
Nintendo knows how to make
has-
things fun. They just don't know how
They-
to be good to their customers.
Yes, I think that's
Who does though? Because like, look at this. Look at the fucking Sony thing and whatever. Like,
Ah.
and all the exclusives from the other two console makers are coming to PC as it is. It doesn't matter anymore.
Exactly.
well.
Just have a
But-
fun time. You know.
Well, speaking of a fun time, Angelo and I have been having some pretty wild times in the world of coffee.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys
So-
going to Timmy's, getting yourself a double?
No way. I never have to go to Timmy's for my double again.
Ever again.
I bought myself a coffee machine. But much like I was just harping on game consoles being boring little boxes, I didn't get myself a boring boxy coffee machine.
No.
I got myself a coffee machine that is made of solid aluminum and has little levers, and it looks like a wine decorker almost.
Yeah, it does.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, aren't most coffee machines made of aluminum?
No.
No.
In fact, a lot of them are made of plastic.
And stainless steel, but
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
So I got myself a manual espresso press.
I've heard legends of manual espresso presses, and I've never actually seen one or used one, but somehow Angelo managed to zero in on one and was like, I got this. And I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
You've added additional labor to the coffee supply chain.
It's a good
I
workout
have.
for your arms.
It's not even that hard.
It's not.
It's I've always loved the look of the manual espresso presses. When I look at the big boxy espresso machines, they're huge, they're ridiculously expensive.
And they're prone to failure,
Yeah.
as
That-
I've been
that's just-
experiencing.
I don't want that. And I want something that is neat and aesthetic looking, you know? And so I bought this machine. It is called the Rock Espresso GC, if you wanted to look it up and see what it looks like.
Can you smell
What the
what
Rock
the Rock
is
is
brewing?
brewing?
Yes. Yes, I can.
I'm gonna buy you. No wait, aluminum is not magnetic. I was gonna get you like a Dwayne the Rock Johnson like magnet,
That would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah.
but
I
it won't stick.
have been having a time practicing with this thing. I have had it for 3 days at this point, and I have made exactly 2 proper espresso shots.
Okay, but how many of the failures did you also have resulting in overcaffeination?
So I got it after work. After work on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Or was it Thursday? Thursday. I got it. And so this was already like 6 p.m. And my first pour and squeeze and espresso out of it, I used the coffee beans that I already had. And they were a light roast coffee, right? It was exceptionally acidic. It was a very strong acidic flavor because these beans were not meant to be espressoed. And I just tried, that's very tart. Let me try putting some Baileys in there. It was so acidic, the Baileys immediately curdled.
Yeah,
It was cheese. I made coffee booze cheese.
Amazing! It was
Yeah.
coffee
probably
ricotta.
also
You've
very
invented
delicious.
coffee ricotta.
Coffee
Not only
ricotta.
Irish.
Irish coffee ricotta.
Irish coffee ricotta, exactly.
That is literally a phrase I feel like that has never been said in the history of the world.
True.
These are all
I
words
said it
that
here
didn't
first,
belong in a
and it's-
single sentence together.
And I recorded it. It
And
exists.
so I immediately went out to the store to buy an actual espresso roast.
Can we make it the title
wise.
of this podcast?
Yes, the title of this podcast can be Irish Coffee Ricotta.
Wonderful.
Yes. And so I got myself a proper espresso roast. And so by this time, it was after dinner because I was hungry. I had to cook food. It was like 7:30 in the night. And so I brewed the first good enough espresso. And I drank that and I was like, oh yeah, that's very nice. That's very good.
And then you stayed up till 4 a.m.
And then I made a second one because I didn't get any crema. I didn't get that foam on top. I wanted to get the foam.
I absolutely understand where you're coming from,
Yes.
and I would have done the exact same thing.
And so I made like 2 more. I didn't drink the second one, but the third one had a little bit of the foam. It had a little bit. And so I drank that
nice.
one too. And so this is already like 8. Now something interesting happened that day. The night before, I barely slept at all. I only got like 3 hours of sleep. So I was tired as fuck.
Angelo, I
did
swear to
not
God, if
need
you're about to
sleep until 2 a.m.
yeah, if you're about to describe the effects of caffeine, it's not that interesting.
No.
That's
It's because-
exactly what it does. That's the point.
I know. That is the point. And Jesus Christ, espresso it is a lot more caffeine. God
So-
damn.
Yes. But also,
Can I add a little?
Sure.
what?
Oh, just on the topic of espresso really quick. I do drink coffee. I don't drink it. No, okay, that's a lie. I drink it way more often this year than I have in like my last 3 previous lifetimes. I enjoy the taste of coffee overall, but I don't care whether I have cheap coffee or not. Sometimes I'm just like
Okay.
I just like the overall coffee flavor profile. Okay, I'm not you guys. I'm not gonna be like too fancy about my coffee. I will enjoy a double double. I don't care. But anyway, recently Tim Hortons had like their roll up the rim or whatever. I found out that if you win like a coffee drink, that you can pile on what do you call it? Modifications to your drink.
Oh,
and it won't charge you.
Oh.
So like you
Oh,
can
okay.
have. So I ordered like a French vanilla, and then I like one day I did this. I ordered a French vanilla. Then I was like, oh, I can put in like an espresso shot. I'll put in 2 espresso shots, and then I'll put in like a flavored shot, and then I'll put in a little bit of like just a regular roast. So it became like half French vanilla, half regular coffee, plus like a shot of French vanilla flavor, and
Oh
then
my god.
a double shot of espresso. I was like, interesting.
Oh
This is
no.
like 2 red
I'll be
eyes.
honest. I will say that I've never really had espresso.
Uh-huh. And
It annihilated me.
explain annihilated.
It crushed me. Well, first of all, I don't remember if I had much to eat
Oh no.
before
Oh
that.
dear.
So it hit me like in the way that if you drink alcohol
Were you
without
getting
having
the
like some
shakes?
food.
Were you like
Without-
sweating?
Oh,
Were you sweating
it,
caffeine?
no, no, no. I didn't get like this. I didn't get shakes, but like it just like crushed my
Digestive system?
my guts. Yeah, I was just like, oh, I don't feel good. Like I want to throw up, but I don't have anything to throw up, but I'm also kind of wired. It was not good.
That is uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
There is
Sorry, that was my aside.
I like coffee, but there is very much too much of a good thing.
Yes.
And there's also, when it comes to Tim Hortons, too much of a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. But
fun.
yes.
So much learning.
With your 2 proper-ish, did you manage to have another one after that?
So, the next day, the very next morning, actually, I was able to pour a perfect espresso shot.
Yay.
It had the crema. It was bitter. It was a little bit acidic. It was aromatic. It was very delicious. And so I warmed up some milk and some Baileys together, and I poured that in, and I just had myself a little latte for the morning.
So
And I was able to make one this morning as well.
So you're doing your Italian heritage very proud.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. They would be very pleased with me. I am dialing in. I'm dialing in the hand motions, the
Ooh.
tamping. I am doing everything to make myself some nice coffee.
Including trying to see if you can get a tamping station set up.
Yeah. That's
So
one of
I-
the things. Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so I get a message from Angelo at some point this week, and he goes, "Can you print me one of these?" And I look at it, and I'm like, "This is a model for specific, like it's a little stand for putting your portafilter in, so it holds it steady. But it also has like a little mini funnel across, like around the edges, so that it helps you guide all of your grounds into the portafilter, which is
Yeah.
definitely one of the most annoying things about filling a portafilter."
So my portafilter, it actually has the funnel with it, which is really good. But the problem is it's in all of the reviews of this system that I saw online, it had a flat bottom portafilter. But for whatever reason, the revision of it that I got has like a spouted portafilter. So you have to hold onto the thing as you tamp it down, which makes leveling the coffee hard. It makes tamping it and getting good pressure on it kind of hard. And so I was like is there a stand for this thing that can hold the portafilter? And I was like, oh, there is a 3D printed one. Who do I know with a 3D printer? Nancy.
It's me.
Yes.
Taylor
That's
Swift,
that's
it's
wonderful.
you.
So, probably gonna have a fun time with the 3D printer this weekend because we have a couple of things lined up to print anyway, such as a really nice big Torii gate. So
Ooh.
when we went to Japan back in October, we spent a couple of days in Miyajima, which is where the really big floating Torii gate that's like out in the water
I was in.
lives.
Yep, that's where I busted up my shin.
Oh,
Oh,
Not that I know
jeez.
with you guys.
Ah, jeez.
Well, that's
Jay.
because I did the whole Miyajima Island hike. You know,
Oh,
like you go up
nice.
and it's all these like stairs that are made of very uneven pieces of giant rock.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way down, I busted up my shin. But it's a
Ah.
very fun walk.
Yes. You
Mijima is
made it
really
up
fun.
to the top where there's like that big observatory and you get to see like all around the yeah, it's a beautiful
I'll
walk
be honest, the observatory is not that good, but there's areas leading up to the observatory that I felt
that
were
are
more
beautiful. I
interesting.
really
Yeah,
enjoyed all the big
like
rocks that were like right
really
up
cool.
against right before you get to the observatory basically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And the Japanese maples
yes.
on that island.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
So beautiful.
Beautiful. So yeah, we wanted to print a nice big Tory, but we also wanted to make it a little bit utilitarian. So we wanted to actually add little hooks on it so we could hang all of these charms that we've gotten from various shrines that we've
God.
picked up. So we actually wanted to make like sort of a display piece, but a display piece that functions as something I can hang all of my mementos on, basically.
I have
so
one Omamori, and I
yeah.
hang it on my microphone.
yeah. So we're gonna try and make it not sacrilegious, but we wanted to make something that made it clear, like this is just where we're putting all of our mementos from our Japan trip. So
I
that'll
think any
probably be on the
Japanese
docket.
person who saw that would think it's the coolest shit.
I hope so. But yes, that's the plan. So I think the printer's gonna be on for like a solid 24 or 30 hours
Nice.
with that to print as well as your little stand thing. So I hope it works out really well and needs very little or minimal sanding.
Would be nice that way, but we'll see what happens.
We will see what happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you, dear listener, next week. Same pod time, same pod channel.
Same podcast.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Very well.